All right. So finally, I have Ranya here on the podcast. I've had a great introduction to Ranya once on my YouTube. It was a very successful video that we did together when you were just getting ready for your first women's bodybuilding show, wasn't it?
Um, yeah, or man, I think it was before nationals, before I got
Yes,
my pro
it
card.
was the show here. It was the show here too in Las Vegas,
Yes.
but prior to you getting your pro card.
Right.
How do you feel now that you're a pro?
Um, I think that the initial moment of getting my pro card, like I saw all the Instagram videos of people falling to their knees and crying and just like so emotional. And I didn't even flinch. Like, it wasn't that I knew it was coming. It was more that, like, I guess I was betting on it and I was already thinking of my next move.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I guess I did know it was coming, but I just confidence going in that, I had really pushed myself to,
Well,
I don't know.
that's what it means to do your homework and go, 100% when
Right.
you have that confidence knowing that you're getting to the show you are one of the favorites to win.
That's exactly it. It's literally that I studied for this test. Like, there's no way I'm going to fail
Fail.
acing it.
And it's the best feeling ever.
Yeah.
It really is because I think that anybody who is watching this and are competitors or people who are not, now they will know. I think that not that like I would never say that I would enter a prep thinking that I would do halfway, but something needs to click.
Uh-huh.
Like something needs to just click because it's so easy sometimes to get a little bit deviated into the small details and just kind of take it for granted. So, for example, you are on prep and then okay, I'm just gonna eat maybe a little extra, some ounces here because I'm too hungry, or maybe I'm just gonna skip cardio today because I'm a little bit too tired. That is something that click that your body just goes no matter whatever it takes. I'll get there no matter it takes. And that prep, usually that prep, that's the prep that no matter what the outcome is on the stage, um, you know that you just did everything everything that you were supposed to. And it's
Uh-huh.
just a different feeling.
Exactly. And I think from the moment, and I wish I could pinpoint it. I wish I could say that there was a specific thing that made me switch, but exactly like you said, like I was being flexible. I was maybe skipping a little bit of cardio here and there, but from that moment where that flip switched up until the day of the show, that was the high that I'm going to remember forever. Like, that was the best feeling, was like living every day knowing that I'm giving 100%, and that, like, that's where I felt like a champion. Like, wearing the tiara, having the big trophy, it was cool, but
Mm-hmm.
I felt like a winner. That
Mm-hmm. Dom always says like he always says not everybody is willing to get into these like dark places, for lack of a better word, but I think any competitor out there will understand what that means because you will be faced many times. I don't know about you, but there were times that I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would be so hungry and kind of question myself, why am I doing this to myself? Like I'm so blessed with a house full of food right now. I can just go downstairs and eat something that's not gonna do anything. I'll be okay. And those conversations with yourself at 2 o'clock in the morning, not everybody can have those conversations and tell yourself, no, you're gonna go back to bed and you're gonna follow the plan.
uh-huh.
A lot of people they can get there because it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And you start to question yourself, why am I doing this?
Mhm.
And I that's one of the things too that I pay attention with myself, is that who I surround myself with, because some people can just just breathe life into me and give me motivation to keep going, and some people just feed that thought. I've had competitors before that I've met that I used to look up to, and they would, if I had that, kind of conversation with them and say, like, sometimes I think, why am I doing this? And if they feed that thought into, like, yeah, me too, like, sometimes I just, like, with all the shows kind of, being canceled and this, so they're feeding that thought, and then it just gets
Expectation.
worse.
Yeah.
But there are some people that just kind of snap you out of it. And the person that used to do that to me was Margie. So remember Margie?
No.
Margie, she was one of the
Probably.
top female bodybuilders back in the day. I mean, she retired about 4 years ago or 3 years ago. She was, I think she won a few Rising Phoenix before women's physique, women's bodybuilding was in Olympia, and then she got two. I no, I don't think. Yeah, she did Olympia. Yeah, she got second, a
Yeah.
few times. But anyway, so and she has a very funny personality. So she would literally call me like, "Bitch, get out! Like, stop it! Like, come on, just sprint to the finish line. Let's go to the finish line." And so that's why, going back to my thought, is that's why I pay attention to who I surround myself with.
Mm,
It will make such a huge difference.
absolutely. No, I mean, the times I had prepped before this year, this is my rookie year. Like, this is what I'm taking as the real true start to my bodybuilding.
Oh, next year, you mean?
No, this year. I
Oh,
mean,
this year. Uh huh.
year that I've had and this prep that I've had because it I've had preps before, but I was not surrounded by the right people and it was just yeah, I did not have the bodybuilding mentality that I thought I did. And that's why even at the time I remember like when I was prepping or just leading up to those first couple of preps, like I always told people I'm not a bodybuilder, I like to lift. And then I was like, well, I'll dabble in a show. Like my heart was not in it. Like I denied being a bodybuilder because I knew I couldn't really call myself that. I wasn't acting like that. So when I started to surround myself with the right people and like just the amount of connections I've made this year and the amount of people I've spoken to and just, racked their mind. And like you said, like the people that feed into the positives of bodybuilding and just brushed off the negative people and not let them close or let them
Mm-hmm.
very
Makes it. That is also part of a successful prep.
mhm,
Just like having the correct diet that works for your genetics and having the right training methods and having the people who you choose to be around you is just so important, just as important.
yeah,
Because I just like yourself, I was always surrounded by people who would, not kind of feed the negative thoughts that I would have and kind of agree with the things that I wish somebody disagreed with me at the time and
mhm,
would make me see differently. So I
yeah,
was constantly telling myself, I'm not making money doing this. This is, not good for my health. So instead, having the person who's like, yeah, we all kind of acknowledge that we push the boundaries, right? We push the envelope sometimes. But if you were talking to somebody who says, hey, you just have X amount of years to do this in your life. So if you're going to do it, you're either in or you're out. Don't have the second thoughts. That's basically what Dom told me.
mhm,
He's like, hey, you still have a couple more years that you can do this. That I would say, you wouldn't start really, being a little bit like in a danger zone. So you can do this, and I can help you get there. But you're either in or you're out.
yeah,
Like, stop
and
having these thoughts.
that's the truth.
And
Have to be 100%. If you are bodybuilding, if you are truly taking this sport to the limits and pushing the envelope on what the human body's capable of, you need to be 100% in it. And your food and the gym and the cardio and sure sleep. Okay. Disregarding sleep,
yeah.
your 12 hours of the day, the time you spend eating and in the gym doing your cardio is like 30%. It's who you're
Mm-hmm.
surrounding yourself with. I mean, it's even your job. Even if your
Yeah.
job sucks, you have to find a way to make that an uplifting, positive thing. Because if you're negative or if you're under stress because you hate what you're doing for a majority of the day, you hate who you're surrounded by, that's
Mm-hmm.
gonna drain your energy way more than training.
Yes, 100%. I agree. And I think that I can see that in you too, because I do remember seeing you here in Vegas
Mm,
training in different gyms. And one of the things that I kind of thought that I always liked seeing you is that you always rocked your body no matter what season you were in.
uh-huh.
Because when I first saw you, I could see that you did have a lot of muscle, but you also had a good amount of weight, general.
I
But
was thick.
you always rock. Yeah, you were. I could tell. I was like, she rocks her body, and she's um proud. Which that's one of the subjects that I would like to talk about today, which is the transitioning from being a heavier girl, and then going into a prep, becoming extremely lean, and then going back into an off season, which your category and my category, we can't really afford to be tapping into these
Hair
seasons
back.
of, like, for example, like I'm going to Brazil now in 4 weeks, and it's summertime there, and I'm constantly thinking I needed to get a little ready for that, right? Like I'm going to Brazil, I'm going to see my family, friends, and it's summertime. I should probably get into a mini cut, and then
Mhm,
you're just like, no, this is not. I'm not a fitness model. I'm a bodybuilder, and this is going to kind of take it away from what I'm trying to do next year, which is improve my physique. But that comes with the mindset and be strong enough to understand that this is a season.
mhm.
So I would like for you to tap a little bit into that because I feel like you conquered that.
Yeah. Yeah,
How do you do that? Share that with us.
and it's so funny because I swear maybe I had reverse body dysmorphia, but just no, it's more that I've always held confidence in how strong I am, and that's looked
Mhm,
different in different seasons of my life.
mhm.
When I was 130 pounds max, when I was a dancer, I
Oh,
loved
wow,
dance.
I didn't know you were 130 pounds.
Oh, yeah, well, up until, like, 19. When I went to
Okay.
college, I got thick, but
Mhm.
when I was, like, through high school and early college, no, yeah, 130 pounds, I was a dancer, I loved being light on my feet, but at the same time, guess who was always volunteered to do the lifts in the dance? Because we didn't have male dancers, like, at our age group in the studio. I was so proud of being strong, and that translated so well in my life, and, like, it's helped me so much with body image. And don't get me
Mm.
wrong, I still have like, through all those times, I still had body image issues, but the point being, yeah, like you said, I rocked being thick, like, I had sports bra and booty shorts on,
I remember. Uh-huh.
thick,
Uh-huh.
but
Uh-huh.
I knew I was I mean, I was training at, like, EOS and stuff.
Mhm.
I knew I was lifting heavy weights for who was around me, and then even when I started going to Dragons and Fit Club and those places, like, I still knew I was strong, and that gave me confidence, like, you can tell that I'm strong, you can tell I have muscle, but yeah, I'm thick. What is there to it?
Mhm. Mhm. I love
So
that. I love that. Cause I think that I I I I can be proud to say that I never truly had like body dysmorphia. If because I'm careful to say that because I can only imagine what it is to really have that. It's like when people say like I'm a little bit depressed, and in my mind I'm like I don't wanna say that you're not, and I respect, and I wanted to kind of respect that, but I don't think you know what really
no, that's
depression
good.
is, because unfortunately, just kind of to touch that, but I don't want to elaborate too much on that. I have two cases in my family of suicide, two cousins, and so I've seen with my own eyes what depression really is. So sometimes I'm like, just be careful using that word sometimes.
Yeah.
But with body dysmorphia, that's the reason why I'm saying that. I don't know how that truly feels, because sometimes I would look in the mirror and be like, yeah, I don't really like the way that I look, but it was nothing to an extent of like being extremely uh, uh, anorexia or things like that nature, if that
No,
means, you know.
yeah.
And I think that in our sport, I can see when women really do have that,
Mm.
and thankfully I can say that I don't see that in you. You might have it a little bit, like being a little bit uncomfortable here and there with some kind of clothes, but I can only imagine what it is to really have that. You know what I
No,
mean?
that's a perfectly good point, and I'd never have been like, "Oh, I have body dysmorphia." I have bad body image days where,
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm not feeling myself as much, but the truth is when I look in the mirror and I see my body fat percentage, I see how much fat I'm carrying, I know exactly why. That's the thing,
Mm-hmm.
is, like,
Yes.
I know it
Yes.
because I ate out that day and
Yep.
didn't count my macros that day and didn't do I know why it's happened. How
Uh-huh.
am I gonna twist it in my mind to say like, "Oh, woe is me."
Yeah.
No, I exactly why, and that's why that's a good point, is
Yeah.
I was okay looking at myself in the mirror looking that thick because I knew I ate and I enjoyed doing it, but
Would you say that you're like a big eater? You like to eat?
honestly, when I was it's tapered off truly. It's
Mhm,
just been truly a lifestyle change has
mhm.
changed the way I think, where I don't want a big crazy meal every day. Like, I don't crave food like that. And
Did
it's
you
not
ever
Loretta,
before?
I promise, but, no, honestly, I even took that out so that I could really just experience hunger and experience because you need to know those things, like, especially in a growth phase, because my macros aren't high.
Mhm.
Um, on it, you posted yours. I'm like, "Oh, well, I'm eating just as much as her."
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
But I don't need a lot of food to grow. If I eat
Mhm,
too much food, I will gain fat. We wanna
mm,
mitigate that in this off season.
yeah.
So I lost my train of thought. Where was I going with
We're talking about the desire of eating, like, because now you're not on Reddit anymore and you
Right.
wanna go
So
back to
I
feeling.
wanted to keep the Reddit out because even though maybe I want a big cheat I don't want big cheat meals like that. Like, I'm probably good with the amount of food I have, and I need to know my hunger signals. I need to know if I'm training hard enough to be hungrier. Like, I need to know those things to understand what my body needs. If my
Mhm,
coach needs to up my carbs or increase cardio, whatever it is to get my metabolism going properly, you need to feel your
mhm.
metabolism.
I would say I was actually talking to somebody today, about that. Between being hungry, meaning not using any semaglutide, whatever the guys, whatever type of GLP,
Right.
between not feeling hungry at all and being hungry and just having to kind of tolerate that. I
Uh-huh.
prefer being hungry and having to tolerate that than to go through what I went through towards the last couple weeks of prep,
Mhm.
because I exactly what you said, my signals were completely off.
Uh-huh.
So I could not really engage. It's almost like if you are autopilot, on the freeway, and you can't really engage, like, am I going too fast, or should I press the brakes? Like, I have no idea. I have no control really. So with that being said, I wasn't hungry, so I
Uh-huh.
would go an extra few, even like an hour or two without eating when I was already on a huge deficit because I was getting ready for the show. And then when I would eat, I would feel like, ugh, like I'm not really excited to eat. So that feeling of not really being excited to eat,
Yeah.
on prep even, sucks,
Yeah.
because we competitors, we look forward to eating, especially when you're on prep. You're like, oh my gosh, like everything tastes like it's just heaven, right? You put some like I don't know, like some stupid new sauce, and then you're like so happy and excited about that meal, and after you're done, you're kind of like, I can't wait to eat the next one. I had nothing,
Right.
and it was so blah. I
You
don't
know,
like that feeling.
feeling hungry means it's working.
Yes.
And that's what Tolga taught me. Like, he's like, you have to feel hungry.
Yeah. Dom says the same thing. Every time I say, "Babe, I'm hungry," it's like, "Good." So that means you're
Working.
you're getting shredded.
Good
You know,
night.
with that deep voice, you're getting shredded, super sliced. But I like that you're saying that because that's important point. I think those signals, natural signals in our brain, it's something that we should celebrate and understand that is part of us being in control of our bodies.
Mhm.
And if you're not right now in a point where you can tolerate prep without it, I might not be really the thing for you because it's part of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just part of it. I just really did not have a good time on it, and I also think that, um, it didn't do like, my body wasn't filling up correctly towards the end, you know, of the prep.
Definitely not for the end of prep.
Mm-mm,
Um, maybe like as
mm-mm.
a transition I think it's fine for like the peak start of prep, just to
Yeah,
transit, especially if you're going from super high. Well, I mean, no
yeah.
crash you to super low right away, but uh,
Mm.
just
Yeah, I think it's important for us to say, like, it's not that we are shitting over it
yeah,
and saying
exactly.
that that is no place, but I think that, it's not
It
depending on
shouldn't
the
be a crash.
dosage. Yeah,
Yeah.
depending on the dosage, right? Yeah, I think that, if we microdose a little bit and, just enough to kinda take a little bit, what like you said, the transition from being extremely high to then going down, and then cutting potentially, like, 4 weeks out or 5 weeks out before the show, something like that.
Yeah.
But, so tell me a little bit more about, so when you after you won your pro show,
Uh,
you went straight to Tampa, and I love that you did your basically your pro debut right after. You didn't take that long.
Excuse Yeah.
Some people take longer, and, no, you just jumped right in, and you got 4th place in the pretty good show, Tampa,
Yeah.
and then right after that, you got into pretty much your first off season,
Right. Yep.
right? What, what is the strategy now after, what was the strategy? What do you think you want to improve? What you and Toga are doing to make improvements? What is the difference between really like what you were doing on prep
Season.
and then
Yeah.
now transitioning?
Um, I mean, I think in prep, for the most part, we were maintaining all body parts. Okay, actually, no. Realistically, from Samson, my MPC
Mhm.
qualifier,
Mhm.
to USA's, goal was to bring up glutes and shoulders, and we did just that. Um, and then strategy, obviously, from USA's to Tampa was just a week. So we just
Mhm.
maintained. And then from there, my feedback was to bring up basically all arms. So shoulders, biceps, triceps. My legs were good to stay where they're at. And then just
Mhm.
a little more conditioning like everyone gets.
Mhm.
Um, I think back was kind of leave it, but
Mhm.
obviously I want to bring up my rear delts, just
Mhm.
more shoulders in general. Like I need more shoulder density, and that's definitely
Mm.
something that comes with muscle maturity.
Mhm.
Um, but realistically, I was like kind of thinking about it as I'm giving my clients training feedback and figuring out the lateral raise. I feel like I didn't perform a true lateral raise until like maybe 2, 3 years ago. But like having
Mm.
that connection, then moving forward from that,
Are you doing like 2 shoulder day, like 2 push days?
uh, yes. Yeah, technically, yeah. So I
Mhm.
do full push shoulders and chest, and triceps, and then I do back and buys, and
Mhm.
then I have a another push and arms,
Mhm.
two kind of split leg days, hamstrings and quads.
And then food right now you said you're about like 2,800, 3,000.
Yeah, pretty much. Rest days are a little bit lower.
Mhm.
Training days are higher. I'm
Mhm.
doing cardio. Cardio should always stay in for heart
Mhm.
and keeping things moving 5 days a week, like 25 minutes
Mhm.
stairs. Um,
And do you still have cheat meals? I'm assuming too.
we do for now. We
Mhm.
might be pivoting depending on what shows I choose. So, I mean, I think in a week they'll announce the
Oh
shows
yeah,
that
the
will be available
mhm.
next year.
Mhm. I think
It
I heard that you were thinking about a show at the beginning of the year.
perhaps, but we're not sure. It depends on what's even available. Like if there's 5 shows, who knows? Yeah, and I would like to stay in the country.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, I mean, I heard that women's bodybuilding New York is already, I mean, they already pretty much announced because they posted on their page and I didn't see any women's bodybuilding. I remember when I was in New York the beginning of the year, Steve was a little upset that there were only 3 female bodybuilders competing in his show. Um, and he did mention that he wasn't going to do it again. And I guess he kind of, you know, followed that. Then I don't know much about Chicago and Tampa, but I know that you guys pretty much fought about for Tampa because
mhm,
then Jake ended up getting involved and then he sponsored women's bodybuilding for Tampa, but I think the primary idea there was not to have women's bodybuilding. So
mhm,
you might have to strategize a little bit what show because we just don't know. We might be surprised too. We maybe we just don't know.
yeah.
I know, fingers crossed. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like they are pretty much kind of pushing a little bit the division away? What do you think?
Um, I think that there's fault on both sides. Not that people should be showing up for shows. I think there needs to be a little bit of understanding that women's bodybuilding is truly pushing like what women can do. Like that's a little different than men's bodybuilding. Um, we need longer seasons. We need more time. Like just health
Mhm.
wise, if they cared about the health of the athletes, it would be an understanding. But at the same time, I understand there's just not a lot of female bodybuilders. It's true. We're a very low percentage of the population. Like,
Yep.
I do hope that, I mean, I think that since I've been in the fitness realm of at least social media in the past 9, 8 years, there's definitely been an uprise in more females' interest in bodybuilding. Of
Mhm.
course, there's an emphasis on wellness and bikini and a sprinkle of figure, but I think as time goes on and more people are attracted to the sport and attracted to muscle, and as people honestly get healthier with all of the resources we have and everything that's in the media, like people are going to start to catch on. I think it's going to get more popular,
I
and I
hope
hope
so too.
that more women start. And I've noticed even a change this year, and at least my Instagram following, that more females are starting to follow me and be inspired by that. And I hope that they
Yeah.
decide to.
You would be surprised, and I think I've been experiencing that too since I started to be a little bit more, especially involved now with YouTube, and I think that is a little different when it comes to like what's going on as far as like algorithm. I don't understand much of that. I don't really I wish there was a time I was a little bit more interested in figuring things out, but I'm not as much now, which I don't think is necessarily a good thing because at the end of the day, I want my brand, right? The brand, my company to be to using that platform as a way of marketing.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, so it's a little different than Instagram. So after I started to play a little bit more with YouTube, and quite honestly, I didn't realize how it started to grow slowly. I'm not gonna say like I have tons of followers there yet, but it's pretty cool to see that it's being shown in different countries, in different gyms. But the
Yeah.
cool thing that I realize is that everywhere I go, there is always like, which is again random, right? Like a bikini girl, like a
Uh-huh.
fitness model girl, like a figure girl, like a wellness girl that watch the training, and I'm like, that's cool
Uh-huh.
you know even for bikini girls, like, which is a completely different style of training, but they are curious,
Uh-huh.
and I think that it's really cool. So again, like you said, we do inspire a lot of women, and a lot of guys too. I've seen guys saying the same thing.
Uh-huh.
I see sometimes, I hear a lot of jokes sometimes when I go to the gym, of guys saying like, I saw you squatting X amount, and I was like, fuck that, I'm gonna do just the same or more. I'm like, all right, let's go.
No.
So they almost like they start to check themselves when they see a chick lifting that heavy. They're like, how come I've been doing like 20% less? Like, I have to like step up.
No, I'll nonchalantly train on the same type of equipment next to a guy, and if they're going, like, super fast, I'll do a super slow tempo, which I'm typically doing,
Yeah.
just to be like, "Hey, slow it
This
down."
is this low down. This is how you should do it.
Like, look at my
Take your
legs straight.
time, bro. Yeah. But I think you and I talked about this before, and I think it would be interesting if we tap into that again. Um you mentioned one time, and it stuck to me because it's true. Female bodybuilding in general is entertainment in a sense, right? Because
Oh,
you're watching people perform certain poses, and people are looking and analyzing physiques, and it's a way of entertainment because there are not really teams against teams. Even though our industry became a little bit of um, a mess when it
sport
comes to
apparently.
coaches being, that's one of the things that I think is so stupid. I see a lot of coaches kind of competing with other coaches, and but I noticed that is a little bit more the young crowd, like the amateur
Right.
coaches,
Yeah.
like the ones that were just starting. They
Mhm.
start to kind of get a little bit, who has more, like competitors, who has more.
Competitive,
Um,
they're competitors.
there, yeah. But anyway, so because bodybuilding is more entertainment, I think that our division, especially women's physique, women's bodybuilding, we have a huge um like, we have a lack of females who truly promote and make it exciting.
Yeah.
Fighters, I grew up around a lot of fighters, because Brazil, in the Brazilian culture, even before bodybuilding, we always had MMA, we always had um jiu-jitsu, we always had capoeira. And so I was so used to watching, the fighters, and fighters always made it fun because they would have their little like fights prior to the fight, or little like, shit talking, whatever the case may be, that is, which we to make it a little bit fun.
Mhm.
Now that we have the power of social media, the excitement of seeing, the athletes, and just really kind of like guessing who is gonna beat who, which I know female bodybuilding channel do sometimes. But then at the same time, we have females that don't even announce that they're going to do the show until a week prior.
Yeah.
And
They
then their Instagram, they have pictures and photos of themselves a year ago, but it's because they're hearing from the coaches, don't expose yourself, don't show anything. You don't have to show your check-in and make people already judge you,
Right.
or if you do, who cares? But if you don't want to put your check-ins, don't. But then make it something exciting, like just create some kind of content and value for people to be like, oh, I really want to watch the show,
Exactly. People
right?
want
It is.
the background to the characters in the show that they're about to watch. Like, they need to see the hype behind the sport, and, like, they wanna root they want us if they want loud audiences, the performers have to have fans that will root for them. Like, they need to create hype for themselves and hype for the sport.
That's why I have a hard time, and I hope I don't get in trouble by saying this here, but I have a hard time calling myself a fan of anybody in my category right now
Mm,
because I can't just give that just to anybody because I am a fan. Usually I like, and I know it's completely, it's kind of irrelevant when you are on stage because you're purely just judging physiques.
right.
But me, Amanda, I fall in love with stories and I fall in love with personalities and then the body and then the like the posing like that is a whole like kind of like story behind the body and because I grew up watching Dana Lynn Bailey.
Mm,
So I that's kind of what I remember of the category of this woman who she has kind of like an interesting personality and then she has the boyfriend that is kind of like the cool dude that plays this cool music and then she's kind of like this like cute girl cute I mean woman, right? She's probably in her 40s now, this cute but at the time like this style of just a cool girl with the cool style and she's a badass
yeah.
and she poses really well and then so we know a little bit of her and then she started to teach too. You would see her. I remember you would copy a lot of her training. Like I would do the big three, which was um X amount of squats and then X amount of shoulder press and X amount of bench. It was like three, like 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, because she loves the CrossFitting style, which I wouldn't do that now. I know
Um,
better.
yeah.
But she was big on that. And she would always kind of show some cool videos of her training. And I would like, yeah, Dana. Now I feel again, I don't want to get in trouble here, but and it's just eating my heart. I don't feel that about Natalia or Sarah because they're mainly doing it for themselves, right? They go, they get on stage, they win. That's a win for them. I don't know much about Natalia. She's now, currently classified as the best physique in our category as a Miss Olympia. And I don't remember once learning one single exercise movement from her.
Uh,
And she is right now like the like physique of bodybuilding in women's physique. And I never learned one exercise from her
yeah.
because she doesn't have a channel or she doesn't do so for me and then Sarah is the same. I have no idea how she got from A to Z. I just see her on stage, she poses and off she goes. Natalia does some seminars, but I never really the seminars are for X amount of people. Usually seminars, I'm sorry, but they're not very successful. Some of them are, maybe one or two in a year, maybe host more than 200 people. Some are just about 100. So you're just limited to the audience while the whole entire world is just nobody sees anything, nobody knows anything. So with that said, I have a hard time calling myself a fan because
Uh,
yeah, she has incredible physique, but for me to call somebody like for me to say I'm a fan, it's like I'm a fan of Kobe Bryant, but Kobe Bryant is more than just like an athlete. He's a speaker. He's a motivator. He just he he gives me like this excitement for to be an athlete.
uh,
He inspires me. I can hear him and I can just he breathes his life into me. I would love to see that from the top in our sport, but right now I don't have anybody to go to.
yeah.
Does it make sense?
No, I get that, and that's again why I think more people should be showing the behind the scenes and telling the story. But I also think that's a good transition into like how we feel in off season. And I understand why some people would want to shut down and not post content and not just keep reposting their old stage photos and videos. And I've held myself to that. I limit myself to like one every 2 weeks or so. I wanna make
Good.
content of how I look right now, videos,
Good.
photos, every angle, no filter. Well, except for
Mhm.
whatever Steven puts on it, a little glow
Mhm.
in the gym with the dark lights, but
Mhm.
yeah, I think that it's important that people are raw about it, and that is and I mean, you're mentioning, I mean, Kobe, but, like, in body I follow a bit of, like, the wellness scene, maybe I have some friends at Bikini who are influencers. I love the content they put out, but I compare it to, like, what did CBum do? What did I mean, all these male bodybuilders that have these cult followings. Reagan posted a video of him putting ropes on a T-bar attachment and doing tricep extensions. He reposted like 50 boys a day doing that exercise. There's no, yeah, you're right. There isn't, and you're right, and I should start doing that. I think I try and put out a little bit more like engageable content. Uh,
Mhm.
But yeah, I feel like everyone should be doing their
It's just it's just like I think it's just something that comes with being a champion, right? Is just like it's like teaching a little bit about um how you got to be who you are and sharing a little bit about, I would say, and I like to mention Kobe because I listen to a lot of his stuff. So he talks about, the mindset of becoming who he were, and he would teach a little bit too of whoever it was, whoever like spoke a little bit more basketball language, because I didn't, so I wouldn't really, I would kind of skip through that, but I knew that he had a little bit for that too. So I want to look for that kind of content online, and because I want to learn, because I'm excited to get into my off season. I would love to hear from people who are very successful in my category, what they've done, how they go through sometimes the ups and downs of feeling, how, would like even for us. I mean, we can't deny, and I don't know how you feel about this, but sometimes we hear a lot of comments. Then, if we don't have that strong mindset, we feel defeated, right? A lot of people call us, "You look like a dude. Your voice changed, or you're not, naughty or not," or like all that BS. Um, I think that would be so excellent for to hear from the champions what it is to
have that.
to go to it kind of block that, because I'm sure they did. That's why they are who they are. But I can't find anything. So again, I'm not to talk shit a lot about them. They have incredible physiques, and they are doing it amazingly, because they are on the top at the top for a long time. Um, but I can't call myself a fan. I just don't know anything about them. Like I need a little bit more
Yeah.
to
And we are professional athletes. Any other professional athlete, you look up their name, you can find out, you can watch documentaries, you can see interviews, like all these, or, supplement brands they work or whatever. It should be the same with bodybuilding. Like, we want to be
Yeah.
treated like professional athletes. We have to act like professional athletes. And maybe the money's not in it right now, but at least put your heart into it.
Yes,
We have to keep
absolutely.
the sport alive somehow.
Yes, I love what you said. Maybe the money is not there, but maybe put the
Because it's
heart in
true,
there.
like, I mean, and even to new pros that might not have big followings, like, just start pushing out your content, and even if brands aren't working with you now, make yourself worthy of working with brands. If that's what you want, like, you need
Yeah.
to create diamonds from
Yeah.
yeah.
And don't be so caught up. I would say my two cents is, don't be caught up into the likes and shares, and it
Mm,
doesn't fucking matter. Just
it does
be
not.
authentic. Be authentic. Put your stuff out there. Have fun with it, and you never know who is watching. I've had people, I would have content that never really, it was not a big deal, right? It was just X amount of likes.
Mhm.
But then one particular person came to me and said, "Hey, I watched that and he and inspired me." Or I remember when I started working with Anderson Silva, he like he would kind of like see what I was doing, as far as like my uh commitment to the sport. And because athletes, we respect each other, right? So no matter what sport it is, when you see that dedication and passion and discipline, like we all kind of like we're like, like I see you.
Mhm.
Um, so I remember him mentioning many things like like I was very inspired by seeing your dedication to how much you were eating and your the supplements and this and that. So just don't be caught up into like the numbers. Just be authentic,
Mhm.
and do it for also to inspire. I think it's important to say that um it's really cool when you do something that is just bigger than yourself, not
Mhm.
just for you,
Yeah.
and you kind of create like a community.
Yeah.
I've never been the kind of person that did anything really alone.
Yeah.
I like to have a tribe. And I think that for us females, in bodybuilding or women's physique or figure, whatever the case may be, I think that we should be a little bit more together in this, and create more, even more podcasts or more training together or whatever the case may be, just to really empower, because I see a lot of that with the guys.
Exactly. Yeah. They may have their rivalries, but we need to have like bonds too, and yeah, a little more support. And I mean, I do feel like there's a fair amount of like female bodybuilders that have reached out and like
Mm-hmm.
started friendships and at least
Mm-hmm.
kept in touch. But yeah, we
Mm-hmm.
definitely need more of that.
Do you feel that you were welcome? Did you feel welcome?
At Tampa, oh my God, I felt like a baby back there. I just didn't know what I was doing. And I also, it was such an incredible experience going from like USA's from a packed like 500 people backstage on the floors, everyone laying down to like the luxury of a 12-person pro show. Like it was so cool. But I mean, no, I clung on to you and Levy. No, I was doing it, I was using the cable off of your
Yeah,
back.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
no, I there's a cold shoulder. I mean, there were also women's physique girls there too, and even from them, it wasn't too warm, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a
I feel
bikini girl came up to me and was so friendly. We need more of that, guys. We gotta
yeah.
have camaraderie that these bikini girls have
Mm-hmm.
with the brawn that these bodybuilders have.
Like I feel like I feel that a lot too. Like I remember when I first did my a show in LA called Excalibur.
Mm,
I was trying to put my bikini on, and I asked for somebody's help, and the girl said she couldn't help me. She was too busy pumping. So that for me was like, oh, what a good welcoming, Amanda. let me get let me get like a guy to just help me out real quick or something, because the girls are not, like they were not. But that didn't really phase me.
no, I mean, it's whatever. I didn't expect it, but yeah, I think everyone was spaced out in their own corners in their own worlds, which I get. I mean, it's stressful before you get on stage. Maybe it was just stress, and I'd love to give it the benefit of the doubt and say it was that.
Yep.
Uh, but you're there. You showed up how you showed up. No one's gonna push you over and make you look worse. Like we're all there. Just hold hands and smile.
I think that that's one of the things that it's important to mention too, like for anybody who is starting to compete too. Like it doesn't really freaking matter who is there, because there is nothing that you can do. It's not like you are. getting ready for a boxing match or or a MMA match, and you can watch the
Cut weight
strategy, and
last minute. Yeah.
you can watch somebody's strategy, and you can see, okay, this guy is a wrestler, so he's going to come and aim for this or that. Like we watch a lot of MMA here at home, and we constantly kind of like go back and forth on like this person has X technique, that person has Y. In bodybuilding, you can. I mean, you can, well, because you're not going to go out, there is no way for you to fight that. So it doesn't matter who is there. Like,
Because even the Olympians looking at their stage shots, the lineup, they're not looking like, oh, she's got bigger delts than me. I need bigger delts. They're saying, what do I need to bring up on my body to look better? It's not, I have
100%.
bigger calves than her and bigger biceps than her. It's individual.
I also
What's that?
think I like to mention that I think, and I heard that from Tyler before, because Tyler has a good relationship with Dom, and I heard that from him. He said that you would be very surprised how, and I would say, I mean, of course, they see so many bodies on stage, but there are a handful of people that they really truly remember because they are really kind of the top in the category, right?
Mm,
So when you showed your best already, and you come back and you didn't even present that, and the person who is there might not might you might kind of win against that person, but you really didn't show up your best how he saw it last time, that will make an impact.
mm,
Because, for example, I know for a fact I have bigger legs than Sharonica. I won against Sharonica in New York Pro. I got second. I went on stage alone with Natalia. They did the 2 runs around. They put me and Natalia and made us pose for a good, I don't know, 6 minutes. Um, and Sharonica got fourth, I think, and I got third. I mean, I got second. So then Sharonica this year, she got fourth in the Olympia. And I know I have bigger legs than her, for sure. I mean, I was on stage with her.
mm.
But when I was at Olympia, I lost a significant amount of legs because I was so excited for the Olympia. My ass couldn't stop still, so I was doing more cardio than I was supposed to. I was taking Reda. I was taking kratom, which kratom kills your hunger too and makes you very edgy.
Right.
So I already have a very high NEAT. So I was like doing even more things at like a very chaotic way, like so meaning burning more calories.
Yeah. And that makes a difference. How erratic you are as a person. Like, talk with your
100%.
hands, you burn more calories than a normal person.
100%. And
Think how
I
much.
was I was following a training by somebody that and I don't want to say names, but I went from squatting and hex squatting and doing incredible, amounts of weight with good form to then starting my workouts with kickbacks and hip thrust.
Mm,
Like I mean, I know, and I'm gonna hold myself accountable because I'm, I'm a woman. I'm not a little child, and I'm not that amateur when it comes to training. I should have known better, so it's my fault. But I also trust the person, and I wanted to try something new. And then he really bit my ass
mm.
because I wasn't thinking. I was like, let me try something new. That's not the time to do something new, Amanda. 10 weeks out from the Olympia. So, but anyway, so what I'm trying to say is that when I got on stage, um, I know because I don't remember a lot of things because it was so fast,
Mm.
but I do remember Tyler looking at me and being like, I remember that face. I remember because because when I went to see him at the road to the Olympia,
Hmm.
he said because he saw me, so maybe I couldn't tell by the time because I was still 8 weeks out, but I
Mhm.
think because he has the eyes, so he see it. Dom could have already see it too, so Dom was trying to kind of compensate without telling me too much, so I wouldn't get too much in my head. But he did say when I was there in Pittsburgh, do not lose your legs.
Mhm.
Don't lose your legs, because don't lose your legs. And then when I was on stage, I remember he was like she didn't bring it.
Uh,
So, with that said, I think that I was being compared to the girls who fucking brought it.
yeah.
And then I was also being compared to what I presented last time when
Right.
he saw me in New York.
Yeah.
Because I do remember bodies too, because I remember seeing people on stage and I was like, oh gosh, they don't look the same.
Uh-huh.
And I don't even watch them bodybuilding as much as he does.
Uh-huh.
But if I watch your next show, I remember how you look because I was really close to you in Tampa.
Yeah.
I know exactly how you look, and
Exactly.
I can tell if you improved or not.
And that's why I think a lot of people, and no one pushed me too hard, but everyone was like, "Oh, are you gonna do it?" They wanted me to keep going after Tampa, but the truth was I had already peaked once, twice, 3 times that year, 2 times back to back. It it's hard to get better when you've been running for so long, like, you need those stretches of breaks to improve. So what was the point of me stepping on stage with the same package, maybe a little bit improved? I mean, for me, I'm sorry, I don't have a problem holding muscle, that's not my issue, it's more holding conditioning for sure.
Mhm.
So I'd come on stage maybe bigger, but I'd lose conditioning.
Mhm.
So that's where I was like, no, there wouldn't be any way I'm going to keep running and then try and get into the Olympia my first year. I'd rather show them what I've got, fresh new pro 6 days later, and then come back next year and show them what I can do in that time span because that's the real shocker. That's, yeah, exactly. You're compared to
100%. Yeah.
stage.
Yeah, 100%. You wanna go there and you wanna be like, "Whoa," 'cause I still remember, like, crazy transformations that I've seen on stage that made a huge impact on
Yeah.
me by looking at somebody and being like, "Wow," and I think that's when I don't it's not that I become a fan, but I become like, I have a lot of respect towards that athletes. I'm like, "Wow, what a change."
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm. Awesome. But, I hope that, you had a great time here with me for
Yep.
about an hour. It felt like it was just about 20 minutes, to be
I
honest.
know we can chat forever. I love it.
But I'm gonna see you tomorrow. We're gonna go to a party,
Yeah, dinner time.
Thanksgivings. We're gonna have a little Thanksgivings with friends here in Vegas. That's what I love about Vegas so much is that,
Little
we
community.
have a very cool community here, and we all, majority of us all get along with a
Mm.
few exceptions. We don't count them. But yeah, all right then. I'll see you tomorrow, and thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Bye.
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 See you tomorrow.
See you.